Hey, what's up everyone? I was contacted by a company, Ranwin, to do a review on a mower part. And this is a spindle assembly. That's the aftermarket company that I deal with, and this is the Ranwin. Now, they contacted me and wanted me to do a review on a mower part, and they had me choose what mower part I wanted to do a review on, and this is the one I picked, and hopefully maybe this will turn into more reviews that I can bring to you. Now this is the spindle assembly for AYP, which is Husqvarna, Poulan Pro, Craftsman, and there's one other one in there too that these all fit. And this is for the 42, the 46, the 48, or the 54-inch deck. And this is the one that is the four post. You have 4 posts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it mounts up in the deck. And this is what holds your blade. We call it a coil unit, spindle assembly, deck assembly, whatever you want to call it. That is totally up to you, but I call them a coil unit. Now, on just looking at them, you can tell that there's a little bit of difference to them. The finish on this aftermarket one is a little smoother. This one's a little rougher. It's machined on the top here, and this one is not. These are just little subtle differences that really don't mean a whole hell of a lot, because once you put it in the deck and you cut the grass a few times, it's going to look like crap anyway. So it doesn't matter how nice it looks when you put it in. But as you can see, they both are threaded. They both have the threaded posts, which the 3 posters don't. And this aftermarket comes with blade bolt. This one that I'm doing a review on, get your bolts. Holes are threaded. And you get a blade bolt. Both are 5-point star. 5, 5. And just kind of looking at them closely, you can see that this one is just a little bit heavier than this one, which is again really not a big deal. These are made to break. So if you hit something really hard with them, you bust a blade assembly or coil unit before you bend up or tear up a deck. Deck shell is between $600 and $800, where these are a little bit more. These are more inexpensive to be replacing when you break one. Still have your pulley nut. Grease zerk on the top. Like I said, just some subtle differences. They are about the same height. We'll get into that here in a little bit as well. But I just wanted to kind of go over them and take a look and see what we can see by eye in differences in the two of them, which there isn't a whole lot unless you want to go with a gold nut or a silver nut, as long as it's got nuts. Okay, but pretty much, like I said, they're very close. I don't see anything different looking at them that's not gonna cause it to work like it should. Like I said, this one's just finished a little bit better than this one. No big deal. But I'm going to have to get you set up in the stand so we can take a look at a little deeper into this and see what we have on the inside compared to either one. And you can see this one's a little thicker here than here, but we can get into that. We'll do a little measuring and just to kind of give everybody an idea as to what they are buying when they pay for one. But to me, as long as it works like it should, then there is no problem. Okay, let me get you set up and we'll take a look at them a little closer. All right, now, like I said, my aftermarket here. Spindle assembly, Husqvarna, AYP, 42, 46, 48, and 54-inch decks, made in China. Ranwin just gives us our spindle part number, 292, which comes up to the same as that one. And again, made in China. Scan with the transparency app. So they're both made in China, just that probably they come out of different companies. Okay, quickly let's take a peek at what we got going on here. Like I said, this is the aftermarket, or the Ranwin. And I think I already had knocked the jack shaft out of it once, just to look. There's our jack shaft, pretty much the same, good heavy jack shaft, grease hole here. Seal's missing out of the bottom bearing, so when you grease it, it'll actually grease that bearing, but the top one, the seal is still in it, so you're not going to be greasing that top one when you grease through. Bearing is a CN ball, or CNB all. I'm just going to kind of reference this. Part number is really hard to tell on that. Now let's take a look at the other aftermarket, the one that this is the one that I sell. And see, in this aftermarket one, the bearing still has the seal in it. So got your hole for your grease, and the top one has its seal in it. So actually, when you're greasing this, all you're doing is greasing the shaft. Just lubing up the shaft. And where in the Ranwin, that one you're actually greasing the bottom bearing. What I tell people before they install them is, if they're going to grease them, is to take this one apart and pop the seal out of it, so when you actually grease it, you're actually greasing something. The bottom one gets a lot of use. That's where all the dirt, that's why the cup, that'll kind of shield it a little bit. But I tell them to pull them down and pop the seal on the bottom bearing and on the top bearing if they're going to be greasing it. I mean, granted, you're going to use a lot of grease filling up that cavity before you even start doing anything to a bearing. You can see. So I think most of the time people don't grease them. I mean, you're going to go through half a tube of grease. Now, the other thing that I was kind of concerned about on these was the height because that's what kind of sets up your belt, to make sure your belt is going to stay on. Has to be the same height, where we're looking at about 5 1/4 on the Ranwin. The other aftermarket, same thing. Jack shaft length to the top of the threads is going to be 7 1/4 Ranwin from the bottom of the 5-point star up is 5 1/4 or 7 1/4. So it looks like we're going to be the same as far as all that goes. You know, our mounting, same thing, you know, about 4 7/8. Same thing, 4 7/8. Where it goes, sits in the deck, 4 inches and 4 inches. So basically they're the same. The exact same coil unit. Just that the Ranwin, which can be bought on Amazon, and has the bottom seal already out in that bottom bearing, so you'll be greasing the bearing instead of just filling up the coil unit itself. Now, prices. You can see what I sell that aftermarket one for is $46, and you can see I pay $30.48 for that coil unit, and this is retail list price $59.07. That's for this one. Now for the Ranwin at Amazon, which there will be a link in the description for that on Amazon, and I pick up a small commission every time I sell one. That's the only money I'll be getting from this. That's my only pay. Plus I get to keep that one. And you can see $26.99 is what you pay for it on Amazon, and that is, you can buy this cheaper on Amazon than I can buy this wholesale by about $4, about $4.50 cheaper than I can pay for it. Tells you a lot. And they're basically the same coil unit. This one's just finished a little bit better than the Ranwin. Going to do the job, no problem whatsoever. I don't see any differences that's going to hinder anything. And I was wondering why I wasn't selling very many coil units this year. And when Ranwin contacted me, and then I went and looked on Amazon, they were $26.99. I figured out why I wasn't selling very many of them at all this year. In fact, I think I've only sold one of these this year, and normally I would sell between 8 and 10 of them a season. So sales way down on that, just because now we're, you know, the aftermarket is a lot cheaper, and it's still the same quality, still a good unit. Not going to have any problems using it. Part numbers are all match up. You type in your part number in Amazon, and this is what's going to come up if you have your books. So yeah, looks good. Very pleased with that one, with this new aftermarket. quail unit, and hopefully they enjoy my review on this and they will contract me to do other reviews. They have some other parts. Basically, you know, you can get the top pulley blades, which are the tooth blades, which gator is what I always call them. Or these ones are grass cool, and I'm not a big fan of them, but you know, a lot of people are. They have some belts and some other quail units, and I think this company is just kind of really getting going, which is really nice. Nice for them, not so nice for me, unless I get to do more of these reviews. And you can see even just the housing through my aftermarket company is $19.03. But that's the way it goes. Always somebody out there that's going to get you something a little cheaper at about the same quality. Said this one's just built a little bit thinner than this one, not as heavy, which is fine. I would rather chew up one of these than a deck shell. So that's going to do it for this review. And don't forget to, if you're interested in or needing a quail unit for your 42, 46, 48, or 54 inch deck, by all means click on my link below, which is my affiliate link. It'll take you right to it on Amazon, and you can purchase it, and I get a small commission for every one I sell. And that's the way I will make money on this. And hopefully in the future they send me some more stuff to do some reviews on, and I can match it up with my other wholesale company, aftermarket company, and we can check the quality out on both. So I appreciate you stopping by and checking out my review, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, take care.